So, mise-en-scène specifically in the context of the White King is well, it's an interesting one because first we have we telling everything from the boy's point of view, from Jorg's point of view, and so very early on we made the decision that every scene would be told from his point of view. We would not cut perspective in this one. We would never tell the story from either the parents or the grandparents or even any of the baddies, so to speak, point of view. It would always be seen through his eyes.
And that was challenging.
And that is very challenging, and for some audience members, very challenging, and I imagine for people that are raised and trained by television, very, very hard as well, because we're now used to jumping POVs a lot due to all the high quality TV series and drama that we're seeing these days. But and since we did make that choice, we also felt that the mise-en-scène actually would also reflect the boy's perception of the world around him. So, if we could either be directorial about it and already be aware of the whole world around him and what it means, and whether someone is good or bad, etc., and show and explain it and show that to you ahead of the boy knowing it, but we didn't want to do that. We wanted the boy to explore and discover things along with us, and perhaps even ahead of us.
But also to be used to things that had been embedded in that culture for 30 years. This is a country that had been cut off for 30 years. So there's a lot of things that would be very odd to us, that would be second nature, part of the furniture to him.
Yeah, and so for instance, to give you an example, in the opening sequence, in the very first scene of the film, not the opening title sequence, but the first scene on the riverside with his parents, we don't know. We sense perhaps a little bit through the music and through the framing of it. There's something ominous and there's something else there, but it's not until the very, very end of the scene when the father is directly addressing the statue of the dictator that you realize that the statue had been looming above them all this time. And so not only have they not been looking at it, it was so part of the furniture, as Alex said, it was so part of the landscape already that they had no need to look at it. And at the same time, this is perhaps the first time in his life where his father is really drawing his son's attention to this statue and telling him to question it. And we are consistently doing that throughout the rest of the film. We don't do establishing shots ever in the film. We always establish an environment after the boy has already understood where he was, or when he's a little bit closer to questioning it.
Yeah, we immerse ourselves first and then pull back and you see. There's one scene that particularly stands out for me. It's more of an incidental scene. It's the scene where the mother and the boy are walking to the general's house, and actually it is just a journey through the world. They're on a mission, but you can see the level of propaganda that surrounds them as well. It's the same idea that Jorg said about the statue. In the background, on the periphery, are all the trappings of this dictatorship, and indeed, it's always kind of, yeah. That was a very strong idea that it would be in the peripheral vision, and it feels like that in the source material. So that was, it was embedded in the vision to be able to honor the source material like that. That it was somehow Tom Sawyer in a dystopia. The boys' games and the boys' world was there at the heart, and actually the world is around the edges. And as Jorg says, his eyes open to that world. All the things that he's been used to, he suddenly sees in a new way, and that was the concept.